Guys, if you want to move up to the front and take your seats in the gallery here, we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. Don't be shy, extra credit for front row this year. Primo parking. Sort of kidding. Just don't ask a question. I'm not calling them. You do that. You do that all day. Very good question. But that I believe that very much. You want to see the sculpture of gold.
Hold on. Don't mind if I do, actually, Tim. It's freezing in here.
All right, guys, while everyone's getting situated here, I'll kick things off. Thank you for attending. I know there's a lot going on in the sports landscape today, and we do appreciate you coming out. My name is Alex Caulfield. I'm the Columbus Crew Senior Director of Communications, and I'd like to welcome you to the club's 2014 Annual Media Day. Today, I'll just give you a quick run of show. We're going to have introductory remarks from our panelists here, and from your right to left, we have Columbus Crew President Mark McCullers, Sporting Director and Head Coach Gregg Berhalter, and Club Captain Michael Parkhurst on your far left. After their you'll have a chance to do Q&A here from the gallery, followed by select one-on-ones when we break down after that. Today's press conference, Media Day, is being live streamed, so we asked when Tim brings the mic around here, if you can introduce yourself and the affiliation that you're with, that'd be most helpful for the audience that's not locally based. And at the conclusion of today's proceedings, we'll be distributing credentials for those that don't have them. In addition to parking, we'll be giving you information on that. Parking has been greatly streamlined and improved this year, which I'm sure most of you will be happy about. So we'll look forward to discussing those details with you. And we do have select players in the back for one-on-ones as well. To name a few, Will Trapp, Dominic Oduro, Josh Williams, and a few others will be trickling in as well. With that, I'm going to kick it over to Mark McCullers for his introductory remarks.
Thanks, Alex. Excuse me. Thanks, everybody, for being here, for joining us at the 2014 Crew Media Day. Last year, I think it was at this event, I said that 2013 has the potential to be a historic year for the Crew. In fact, it really was a historic year for our club. Not necessarily for the reasons that I had anticipated, and certainly a lot has changed over the past year. And change is a key word. Our organization has veered onto a trajectory and a path that's exhilarating. It's caused us to refocus our overall vision, and it's re-energized the community. At the heart of this new era of soccer is a commitment to quality. It's a commitment and an investment in the infrastructure necessary to win. It's a commitment to a player experience and a culture that we can be proud of, that will be admired throughout the league. It's a commitment to a high-quality fan experience that has manifested itself in new video boards, a new sound system, a new chairback seating, and other improvements. We have a lot to look forward to in 2014. On May 15th, we mark the 15th anniversary of the opening of Crew Stadium. We are so proud of this historic, iconic venue. It is our fortress. We're proud of the memories that we've made here, and we look forward to making many, many more. We welcome 2 new media partners in Time Warner Cable Sports Channel and 95.5 the game. Two relative newcomers to the market, partners that share our vision for how our brand should be presented, and also share our commitment to high-quality content and programming. The 2014 World Cup will dominate the sports landscape this summer, and the crew will be right in the middle of the world's largest sporting event, rallying support for our national team and also supporting any of our players that might be representing their national team at the World Cup in Brazil. There's a lot of anticipation around this season with a flurry of high-profile player signings, including one here in our own Michael Parkhurst added to our roster. Many things have changed, but many things also remain the same. We still have a top priority in securing a naming partner for our stadium. The ongoing discussions, the engagement of the community are all very encouraging. We still are on a quest to reach 10,000 season ticket holders, and I will tell you that this year we expect to exceed 8,000 season ticket holders from a starting point of about 4,500 when we launched Gold 10K in 2011. So we made substantial progress on that front. The past 2 years represent the largest growth period in the club since the opening of Crew Stadium. And the 2013 operating result for the company was the best since the stadium opened in 1999. So the business is as sound as it has been. The path that we're on, the vision that we have is exciting. And one of the reasons that we're so bullish on the future is the gentleman sitting to my right, actually both of the gentlemen sitting to my right. But at this time, I'd like to turn it over to head coach and sporting director Gregg Berhalter.
Thank you, Mark. The first thing I would say is, we're looking forward to this first opening game, to play in front of our fans. And, since I took over in November, I felt nothing but support from the organization and from the ownership, namely Mr. Precourt. We set out to change a lot of things, and we had a couple projects. And if I point out how our organization rallied around that and the tremendous effort they put into getting some of these projects completed, it's amazing. And I'm really proud of that group, and proud of the whole team for pulling together and really trying to make improvements. And I felt that we made some good strides so far. In terms of the team, I'm extremely pleased with the progress that we've been making. I wasn't quite sure of the exact quality of the group coming into it. You can evaluate it on video, but when you get to work with the players firsthand is when you truly get to see the quality. And I have to say, I think there's some really good pieces there. And the entire effort of the group so far in preseason and in the opening of the season has been outstanding. And we really feel like some of the ideas that we're pushing through have begun to stick, and they've begun to really take it in and execute it on the field. And from our side, we want to give them the tools, we want to give them the structure, but we want them to express themselves and bring out their talent. Because I had a lot of individual conversations with guys, and the message is, you guys are good players. Now go believe in yourselves, because you can do it. So, I'm excited for this game. I'm interested to see the team play in front of the fans. I'm interested to see the fans and the support they give to the team. And I know that, we're, as an organization, proud to be representing Columbus. And, we hope to put on a good game on Saturday. So that's it from my end. I'll turn it over to Michael.
Thanks, Greg. I just want to say a couple quick things about off the field and then on the field, starting with off the field. All of us players were aware of everything that's going on, everything that Mr. Precourt and Greg have changed, what they're bringing to the team. Even though I wasn't here last year, all the guys talk about the little subtleties off the field that are much different this year. Everything from the lunches to just the weight room to the new facility, not only here, the new locker room here, but the new locker room at Obet's, our training facility. All that is just part of the bigger picture of professionalism. And I think this year is the start of something new, and it's the start of something big. And all of us players are really excited. All that off the field stuff is trying to make it so that we can perform at our highest level on the field. And on the field, I think that there's a new philosophy that Gregg and the coaching staff has brought to the team this year, and I think all the players have bought into the system, have bought into the philosophy, and we've been working really hard throughout preseason and the early start to the season to put those things from their minds, out onto the field. And it hasn't been perfect, but it was a good start against DC, and we hope to continue that, and we will. It's a process, but we're working hard, and we're confident of the players that we have on this team, and we're confident that we can get the results to make it to the playoffs this year and take it from there.
Thanks, guys, for the introductory remarks. At this time, our communications manager, Tim Miller, will bring the microphone around for the Q&A. Again, please announce your name and your affiliation for the audience viewing, not locally, via the live stream. Who would like the first question? Adam.
Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch. This question's for Gregg. Michael was just talking about the philosophy and the players buying into that. I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about what that philosophy is and how you've gone about trying to implement it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. The first thing is the way that we want to play, the structure and what we want the guys to be lined up in, and that came. It was a little bit of a process how that developed, and I would say that most of it is geared towards the strength of our players, and that's what we're trying to do, and that's why I think it's easy for them to embrace because it's bringing out their qualities. And like Michael was saying, there's some real quality in the group, and we want them to be free. We want them to play, but we want to put them in a structure that they can showcase their talents in a proper way. So, I hope that answered some of your question.
Ashley.
Ashley Gnelzy, thecrew.com, and my question is for Mark. And Mark, I was looking around the league, and there's a handful of markets that have original content on a weekly basis, sort of highlighting what's going on within their club. A lot of them are bigger markets like Seattle and LA, New York as well. To have the type of content that the Crew will be able to showcase on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, what will that do for a market like Columbus?
Well, I think that, and it's ironic that you're sitting next to Dwight Burgess, who premiered some of that programming last night on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. But, it just provides us a platform to give insight into our club and into our players and into our brand. I mean, I think last night what I saw from Gregg and from Anthony in the New Era program, was their sincerity, their passion, their heartfelt desire to succeed in Columbus. And those are messages that it's really important for us to get across. And it's going to be exposed to, more people that I think maybe don't realize what our brand is about. And Anthony talked about that a lot last night on the program in terms of how we're going to redefine what the Crew brand means. And so I think that's invaluable to a club's brand and the ability to communicate it to the market.
Andrew, then Neil in the back. And guys, if you want to ask a question, just raise your hand and we'll bring the mic around.
Andrew King at MLSsoccer.com. Mark, you mentioned both Goal 10K and the stadium naming rights. What are some of the things that you guys are doing now and will continue doing throughout the rest of the year to work toward both of those goals?
Well, as it relates to Goal 10K, we want to continue to build the Nordeca. We want to continue to build that 18 to 34 demographic. We sell the Nordeca out frequently during the season, but we need to sell it out every game, and we need to sell it out in advance. And I know there's initiatives to get that section going earlier, so the players feel it earlier. And that all adds to the environment, and that's what's marketable. That's what's sellable. We made an investment in new chairback seating So the corporate client is continued priority. And there's a lot of demand in our premium products right now. We've sold out all of our suites that we're going to sell. We've sold out all of our field seats, our club seats at over 90%. And so the Premier East product and that investment is something that we're doing to continue to drive that demand. As it relates to the stadium naming rights, I mean, we continue to come up with fresh ideas that add value, that are going to be of interest to potential stadium partners. We just had another graphics plan revision approved on the 18th by the Columbus Graphics Commission that gives us certain opportunities to do video on the north side of the stadium, which is extremely valuable to a partner. So there's a lot of different things, working with the community, working with the mayor's office on stadium naming rights.
Neil, and then Luis.
Greg, this question is for you, and Michael can deflect on this too. Your opponent, Philadelphia, Saturday. Do you see similarities in the way they play, similar to your style? They feel they're much improved. Your thoughts on your opponent Saturday?
I think it's a solid team. That's how I describe them. I think it's a good team, a well-coached team with some very good players. I wouldn't necessarily say they play exactly like us, but I respect them, and I think that they're quality. Having watched them in 2 games, they started the season very well, and it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, similar to what Greg said. I don't think tactically they play exactly like us, but they'll pose challenges. Similar to us, they do have a new group, and it seems like they've gelled pretty quickly as well, and they've gotten some results. We played them in preseason, so we do have a little bit of a familiarity in that sense. But we'll watch a little bit of tape, and we'll be ready. We feel confident.
Luis, and then Patrick, followed by Jennifer.
Luis Orozco, Telemundo. This is for Michael. What the back line looks like this year? You're going to have a flat 4 sweeper stopper kind of thing, or what's it going to look like with new players on it?
Yeah, man, I haven't played a sweeper stopper in some time, but that'd be interesting. But I think I think that right now we've been working in the back 4, and there's a lot of guys on the team that can step in there, and there's not only the back 4 but the whole team, and so no one's complacent, and no one knows that they're going to be starting week in and week out. But I think the flat back 4 is pretty set in stone, and that's how we line up defensively. But as you saw against DC, and you'll see, offensively we mix things up and guys get forward, and it's just about communication and keeping things balanced. But defensively, it'll be a back 4, and we'll stay compact.
Patrick.
Patrick Golden, Massive Report. Question for Michael and Greg as well. One of the newer members of the team coming in the offseason, along with Jimenez, Clark, Gonzalez, you guys started. How do you guys balance with some of the veterans who have been here and kind of balance that new versus old, whereas your opponent, DC, also with a bunch of new players, struggled with that?
Yeah, I think that's why preseason is so important. Team chemistry is an extremely important factor for me, I think, and I think Greg would say the same thing. It goes a long way. When you trust the guy next to you, when you want to battle for that guy, when you want to make that extra sprint when you're really tired, and you know that he's going to do the same thing. All that stuff is built in preseason, and it continues to build during the year. And the more that we're around each other and doing activities and playing out on the field, the easier it will be to play, the easier it will be to know where we're going to be out on the field and to get that rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, first thing, it's you said young, new versus old, and I don't see it like that. I don't see it versus. We have a group of players and soccer players. From all different parts of the country, so all different parts of the world, and what we're doing is we're just combining them and melding them and making a team out of it. And I don't think guys are looking, I've been around, or I haven't been around, or I'm from South America, I'm from America. I think it's they're players, and on the field they understand how they should operate, and off the field they get along. So I see it as a good group, and I think that everyone, new guys, older guys who've been around, are coming together.
Jennifer.
Hi guys, Jennifer Wilson from Hola Columbus. I wanted to find out, we just interviewed a couple Hispanic players, and I wanted to see how important is the diversity with the team, especially with the Hispanic players playing with you guys.
No, we love it. I mean, we embrace diversity. We try to honor the cultures of the countries that we have represented in our team, and we think it's great. You naturally have times where guys from the same area stick together, and we understand that as well. I mean, I've been in foreign countries, been playing with English speakers where you tend to group together. But, we want to integrate everyone. We want to integrate everyone into the community. We want them to feel home in Columbus. So, it's hard work, but, we enjoy it, and, we think certainly, the foreigners bring a different dimension to our team.
If I could add to that, the international nature of our club and our sport is a competitive distinction for us. We were just recognized last week by the Columbus Council on World Affairs as the 2014 International Organization of the Year. So we're in the company of Honda and Greif and Cardinal Health, some really substantial organizations in the community. And I think we have 15 or 17 nations represented in our organization. And soccer is a dual gender sport as well. So diversity is something that's part of our DNA. It's part of our brand. It's part of our identity.
Dan.
Daniel Carell, Soccer by Ibis. This is for Greg, and Michael can touch on it too. How far along is the team from, I guess, really truly having a perfect understanding of your tactics and philosophies? It's still early in the season, and I'm sure they're still learning, but how far, I guess, do you see it at this moment?
I think we made good progress, like I said. We're not there yet. I think it would be foolish to think we are after 2 months working together. I think it's going to take some time. It's going to take just more rhythm, more practice, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I think that we've learned a lot so far. A lot of guys have played a lot of different systems, and something that Gregg's instituting here is a lot different than what a lot of guys are used to. And so we've definitely come a really long way in the 2 months we've been together or so. But there's still times in the game or in training where Gregg and the staff are pointing out things that they want differently, or they see it differently than the guy on the field is seeing it. So, there's definitely a lot of learning to still do, and every game's going to bring out new situations that the previous game didn't, and where we should have been tactically, defensively, or offensively. All those things that we'll see on tape, that just the learning curve will continue, and hopefully we'll be learning well into the season.
Dwight, and if you'd like to ask a follow-up, please go ahead and feel free to do so.
Dwight Burgess with Crew Television. I wanted to ask Gregg and Michael, the league continues to grow. You guys have seen it. You've gone away. You've come back. It's more competitive, but we also saw this week another disappointing show for MLS in the Champions League play. And I have to believe that the ability for Major League Soccer to establish itself as a league in international competition remains a hurdle, and how you guys see the league moving in that direction.
Yeah, that's a good question. I was surprised, I think, to say the least, at the results. And to me, I think it's a little bit mental in terms of the exercise, right? You listen to the statistics, and they're overwhelming in the favor of Mexican teams. And I think that, we need to get that breakthrough, and we will get that breakthrough. But I think, when I look at the quality, when I'm looking at some of these games, if you saw the Toluca-San Jose game, San Jose played without 7 starters, and they went into overtime at 9,000 feet in Toluca, and Toluca never loses there. So, I mean, I think that it could be done. It should be done. When I look at the Galaxy game, they got off to a bad start. I think the quality difference, it wasn't much at all. So, I think it's coming. I think that, that tournament is important. I feel. I think that it's a good, way for us to establish ourselves as clubs in the international scene by winning tournaments like that.
Any additional questions from the gallery? Guys, thanks for your... Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. Yeah, please.
Sorry, just one more for both Michael and Greg. Can you talk about the partnership between you and Giancarlo early on, and just how you're, I guess, getting on and off the field and growing the chemistry?
Yeah, Pipo's a great guy. He came into the team straight away and was willing to learn, and his English is pretty good, so that's been helpful as well. But he's a solid defender. He's got a lot of experience, internationally and in Costa Rica down there. But he's just a guy that knows the game well. He reads it. He's a physical guy back there, so that's nice to have next to me. Especially if we're going up against somebody big, he can challenge for more balls aerially. But the partnership, we're still learning. We're still need to cover for each other here and there, and the more we play to get next to each other, I think the better things will get. But so far so good.
I think the last question from the gallery is going to go to Nino Torres, and then we will. Everybody up here will break down for one-on-ones along with our players in the back, and don't forget to see us for credentials and parking as well. Nino.
Nino Torres from Soccer League. This is for Greg. Greg, you went to Philly to watch the game, and then you guys watched the tape during the week. What part of their game you think that you should be more focused on? I know you want to be focused on your team, but what part of their team's games you're going to be focused on?
They have an interesting team. They like to get their backs forward. They're pretty good in offensive transition. They have two very physical center backs. In the center of the park, they have guys that can play, that are technically good, good defenders. So, we have to be careful in terms of our game. It's an opponent that we respect, and an opponent that will give us problems. They've been defending well. They haven't been giving up many chances. So, what we're going to focus on is keys to unlock them and how we think we can break them down.
Thanks, guys. As I said, everyone who is up here speaking will be available now, and along with our players in the back. Don't be shy, and we'll get you in front of whoever you'd like to speak with. Thank you again for coming out today, and we will see you all for credentials, parking information, and hopefully on Saturday as well for our home opener against Philadelphia.